Please turn to page 7 of the Kurukulla Center Prayer Book. We'll start with Refuge and Bodhicitta and follow the order of the prayers in the book. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom motion like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one that gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms, in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. From Tushita's hundreds of God's protectors' heart to tip of this fresh, pure white heap, curd like cloud, O Losang Dragpa, Dharma's omniscient king, pray come through this place with your disciples. In space ahead, on lion throne, lotus and moon, venerable gurus smile brightly with delight. Pray stay hundreds of eons to spread doctrine as supreme merit field for my mind of faith. Your wisdom mind sees full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns fortunate ears. Your beauteous body, flame, glory outstanding. Homage to you, worthwhile to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light perfume, and so on. Oceans of offerings set out and envisioned, offered up to you, supreme field of merit, non-virtue committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted three vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned eight mundane concerns, made life essence-full. O protector from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable gurus from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your Dharmakaya sky, pray loose a rain of vast profound Dharma on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I've here gathered bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make Venerable Losangdragpa's essential teaching specially shine forever. Mig mate se we ter chen chen rezig, dream a ken pei wang po mam pel yang, du pong ma lu jom ze sang wei dag, gang chen ke pei tsu gen Tsongkhapa, lo sang drag pe jabla soba dep. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remain steadfast. Homage to the exalted three jewels. Thus have I heard at one time. The Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomena called profound illumination. At that very time, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, was looking perfectly at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, perfectly looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, how should a child of the lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this, subsequently looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are empty without characteristics. That is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visible form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, no mental phenomenon. There is no I element and so forth up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance and so forth up to no aging and death and no cessation of aging and death. There is no suffering, no origin, no cessation and no path, no exalted wisdom, no attainment and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom, and because their minds have no obstructions, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the three times by relying upon the perfection of wisdom become manifest and complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequaled mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, since it is not false, should be known as the truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tayata, gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisoha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva, a great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, well said, O child of the lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the Great Being, and the entire assembly, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gandharvas, and others, were filled with admiration and highly praised what had been spoken by the Blessed One. In the holy supreme abode of the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for practitioners as your children, homage to the hosts of the three places Dakinis, Akasamarasa Shadarasamari. Akasamarasa Shadarasamari Alpi. Tayata, Om, Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisoha. Through the power of truth of the exalted three jewels speech, may all in the sign of negativity, such as the four maras, be stopped. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, Shanti Kuriye Soha. The 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, freed from adverse harmful conditions, may all be conducive and perfect auspiciousness, bring happiness and well-being here, right now. Saji perki jukshing mei tog tram ri.
《
Bling ji.
《
Tayata, Om, Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisoha. Through the power of truth of the exalted three jewels speech, may all in the sign of negativity, such as the four maras, be stopped. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, Shanti Kuriye Soha. The 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, freed from adverse harmful conditions, may all be conducive and perfect auspiciousness, bring happiness and well-being here, right now. Saji degyen padi sangye jingdu mikte owan gidro kunamdan jing la chur parshog Jetsun Lama Dampa Kyenam Ki Chukoi Kala Kien Se Trindrigne Jitat Sampe Dujit Zimma Lahazab Yechurhi Char Pavav Tu So Idam Guru Ratnam Mandalakam Niryatayami
Sanje Chudan Soje Chonala
Janchu Bardu Dani Kapsuchi Nagi
Jenzo
Junyi
Gebe Sonangi Rola Benje Sanje Ndrubara Shu Sanje Chudan Soje Chonala Jancho Bardu Dani Kapsuchi Nagi Jenzo Gebe Sonangi Rola Benje Sanje Ndrubara Shu Sanje Chudan Soje Chonala Janjo Bardo Dane Gyausoje Nagi Jenso Gebe Tsonangi Nola Benjir Sanje Ndrubara Shu Kange Dozanya Sune Dawa Dunje Bambejir Tambe Chunu Dunjebe Kodam Tela Chatselu
So we'll continue from where we stopped last night.
That Lamden Gi Kechuchik Sungswas, the Gigangi, the Gaveshining, Danger Gaveshining, Tini, Dinande, Ko Shuji Ketchumbered was. Ko Gigangi, then Cho Yeda Me, Namju Sunsula, Duane Shebe, Lametsini, Dodini Shebe, Lametsini, Nane Shebe, Lametsini, Seje, Laminchemenana, what take the summer. Matrici Nayorvas, the Queen Ninduji, Tandandelia Sungudwas, or near Giganji, Dan the Martin singing, Susu, Tinity, Tangadudamindu, Dachechea, and that in San Tuzuti, G, the Nima, Tindiji Imbe Chane, and Yendengi Gajada Shija, and Tinde Lombajo Gogure, in the Juasama said, cover the Tinane Gajada, Shija Lomba Gogres, that she just said Tinana. Kan ran have yendem goyachi the ran have yendemena and the gigantengo gisenyo marwa tinza lumdo yende to make you damjings that ne kunjo number tawach gores onbu shishi rapturs that tinane chashi sumbat karugorusna and shembengi ningji yedeba what tenij gores that ne ji chuma sunya teleya ji kalel zem semebchi 까지 쇠터버지 고그레스 오케지 다 시절롱사데 베지데 디인도 커버스도 니나나야 럽툴 닝지체스 셴드 겸에드비 닝도체스 어든지 신에 담배지수 좀 쇼사데 어디 기행이 아니 개조 문제 남부치 도스레 섬도 아니 상주 나래 도와 달라 펜버는데베 조보강 상배 쩌바르도 땡겨봐 대다다야 따도 태블쇼 대다다게 남이야 예미요 산제 세규거 공부는 무슨 따도 다게 잡아다스 뒤다가스 미켜가지고 좀 쉬어줘 근데 말로 산제랑 그 숨으로와 산제랑 그 숨걸이야 근데 이게 체험부터 산제들 나왔다고 그랬어 무슨 따 가서 산제 세규거 공부는 무슨 따도 다게 잡아다스 어떻게 따고 그랬어 어떻게 숨도와
So here he was talking about the spiritual friend, the guru, right? So how the quality, of the guru. So someone who we take as the guru, should have these, qualities. A qualified guru, what kind of qualified guru should have what kind of qualifications and so forth. So that's according to the Vinaya, according to the Sutra, and according to the Tantra. There's the qualifications mentioned according to these texts, according to Tantra, Sutra, and Vinaya, and so forth. So the essence of all these qualifications of the Guru is mentioned here in this verse, where it talks about, may I always be cared for by a holy master whose mind is filled with the scriptural knowledge and insight, whose faculties are peaceful, subdued, who is compassionate and tirelessly courageous, serving others' welfare. So, so one should, when we rely on someone as one's guru, then one should examine. Examine those qualifications, whether that guru has those qualifications or not. And so there are many qualifications mentioned in the text, like 10 qualifications and so forth. So there it says, like, if you don't have, it is very difficult to find a guru with all those 10 qualities. So at least if you can find someone with 8 qualities or 4 qualities, 4 of those 10 qualities. If someone has those 4 of those 10 qualities, at this time, time of diminution, I think that would be good enough. So those are like someone who has more quality than oneself, right? So if the guru doesn't have more quality than oneself, or more knowledge than oneself, then that's what's the point of relying on him or her as one's guru, right? And and someone who is who has a very good behavior, who is well behaved. And so here it talks about the scriptural knowledge and insight. So someone who has more knowledge than oneself, and someone who is well behaved, just like it is said here, whose faculties are peaceful. So that means like having good behavior, and who is compassionate, right? And then and who is tirelessly courageous, serving others. So when it comes to teach others, they're not feeling tired. Not feeling tired of teaching others, being able to bear all the hardships, to teach others. So these are the kind of qualities that one should, the guru should have. Someone whom one rely on as a guru should have those qualities. And just like also it's mentioned in the King of Prayers, so all these qualities of the guru. So the Buddha himself, mentioned. It's not said somebody, but just anybody, but Buddha himself mentioned. So someone who represents the guru and teaches the Dharma should see, just like the guru, just like the Buddha himself.
That didn't get to us, Timado Karingo. The Namutanya Yorita Madarin Sajribe, or the Gantinum Kagutan, Tio the Taman Yango, sing a search, or Madarin Sorgi, or get a shinyatin to get a shade, or tea shake deve search yare, or to call Tendemayimba. I let them begin singing the Kiju Karsanda Matantitaya, and Tendici Chumbaina, Kiju Tetan Damaji Chumbaina, or that Tiglam de Olia, Nabacendo, Drona, Capsa Yuva, Mandona, Sosolo Kyongyodeva, or Ram Kedela, Kyomendeva, Tendinza, and Tadu Mui, Chova Dembata, Luso Lonju Kunji, Yomeva, Singing Tambale, Nichen, Minyakis and Magician Society, Taco, Kusanyamati Yaboji. Singing the delegation is singing the Chinsavi, Susugi, Gusenji, one of those have a jela, and a tea cash in the Druiati, Druguati, that G. Kego using Renu, Kejamayimba, Susu Kevengilia, 로마라니기 아니 디질리조 개변강이야 또 투기에 되버지기 어떤 딘디지레스 대인사 신년 탐발래 우리 예전에 민예계제자에 미셔서 계시티 용버레스.
And so when you talk about relying on a guru or guru, controlling the disciples, like there's someone who is sitting up there and controlling the disciple, and disciple just have to obey the guru and do whatever he or she tells you. It's not like that. So you have to see these qualities in the guru. So once you have this, once the guru has that quality, then you can rely on him or her. And if you rely by seeing that, after that, if you rely, then there is a benefit, profit benefit. And if you don't rely, then there is a loss. So by seeing this, by seeing these qualities, and because of that reason, then you should rely on the guru and obey the guru by following his or her advices. So if one does that, then one will have the benefits. So just like it is said here, like Sadapura Duta, devotions to Dharma Gota, and may I all will delight in my holy master, undeceitfully with the body, life, and all possessions, never displeasing for even an instant, like that. So once we have find the guru like that, then one should devote or rely on guru, just like it is mentioned here.
No, that badumi cheba tamatar sunyati petwenchire petwendel kunju chambu yore samyachidu karesena chanju semba tadumu 자섬 초롱의 연대에 등해지래 장주섬의 연대에 등해지래 장주섬의 연대 투규를 연대해지래 콩 에네 지 딘데 살롱 또 통분이야 지 돈달라 지단체나 디신시보 망보고 시시 연구하래 딘데지래디 디신시보도 저 창말로게 아니 결랑기 렌데에 라만티 아니 병엔 댄싱인데 샤조기 lumbaji를 열에 지든이 감디 샤조려야 병엔 댄스야지 열에 델리야 캐나 엔 로어에 엔 디자네 엔 담바도 제스템바 담네 아니 캐랑기 또베인데 게르스 제제 디시시고 뭐 셰시도 도스제 숨이 여임을 다콜 군주 쇼지도가 마란스 섬내나라 잠배양게 셰지시 제레스기 셰지시가 있나 드메시시지 정말 있나 배 사람도 또베인데 명아가 말로 헛칼이야 드네만 숭그레 삼아로 지기 어떤지 나라의 대용 직진의 캐나서 딘데 대용 신도카브레 딘디지 레드민도와 장주선바 따동을 디신시보 망부지기 시시 난기 열에 룽된 난기 열에 레디 람사 살람도 또베인데 연조로 람사 난 조조지 민도와 인지미지 샤조기 병에 되는 유다 유스제 디신시보 전바 가서 장주선바 전바들 유다 유스제 도스 송대야지 도와 다고 가르스도 렌데에 라마사티 다 친이던 데마 임바지고 토라 에네 라와야 렌데에 버스인데 개천부 지차게 여임버래 렌데에 라마지기 전에 에네 지 최디지 녀지 충분이나 디최지기 수수규리야 고도 배야다 어딘데 토라야 통만 임백이 또 질럽지 죽투야지 여임버래 두스래.
And so this example, so the first line, which is like Sadapra Ruditas, and devotion to Dharma Gota, may I will delight in my holy master. So this is like a very a good example. So Bodhisattva, Sadapra Rudita, says it's in Tibetan we say taktu mo, which means like always crying. So that's so that Bodhisattva, he's a Bodhisattva on the first ground. I mean first path, the path of accumulation, and who himself has all these great qualities and great realizations, where he was able to have a direct vision of many Buddhas, many Tathagatas, many Buddhas. And they all gave him this prophecy, or saying, like this advice, saying that he should go, to this, Springe Yul, and so it's in the eastern part of the world, somewhere in the eastern part of the world. So there he will find a teacher Dharmagota, who he has a strong connection with. So if he relies and devotes to that guru, then he will be able to gain all the realizations just as he wishes. So that's what they all advise and prophesize to him to go to that place and to meet with this guru, with whom he has a strong karmic connection. So we think that if just as soon as you have this direct vision of all the Buddhas, like Menjushri, Avalokiteshvara or Tara, and then we think that we'll just have all the realizations just like that. Even I myself have thought, and many of you might have also thought, that once you have the direct vision of these Buddhas, the realization will be just granted to you like that. But it's not, it's not like that. So all the realizations cannot be granted like that. So so he had to go to this place. Bodhisattva Sadapara Rudita had to go to this place to meet with this qualified guru. So not only just qualified guru, but also the guru, a qualified guru with whom he has a strong connection. And so if you meet such a guru who you have strong connection with, then you can find easily understand all the teachings and even receive the blessings and easily gain all the realizations.
The tea doom the Davachi, Chojila Yunguduas, and Choj Debangara, Atisha, and Doji Dena Developedu, Jizun Drame, Shisi Yungudu, Sanja Mambu Shisi Yungudu, Rete, Injimiji Kra, Sumataralea, and Silimba Damagritizalea, and Chanjusim Damanyanga Pegu rested, Lundan Tusnangaduas, the Luguchi Batiganduas.
So similar kind of story occurred with Lama Atisha as well in Bodh Gaya, where he had the direct vision of the Aryatara and many Buddhas who also advised him or prophesied him to go to the place called Sumatra, and where he will meet with his teacher and receive all these instructions.
Tawana Gigante and Karchiares Lavina. And dinner, substitute the Travi, Shijinto, Loto Chime, Chi, Maleba, Chitartado Mola Nyavata, Tatadala, Tadun number shows. The Singing Tempe Govatso, the Karisna, Rangi Julia, the Lundo Yende, competing Dryatic Timbare, or Tirella, and Duvanya nature, singing the Chobe Chochagare, Pembel and the Choba Chavani, Govetsi, Yamsulamba Insin, and Gerab Sire, or Tenichidua. Dubanyam Linguchi and Kansungoti, Dubanyam Linguchi Chetovichi Chusuna, and a Gaveshinyangi, and a Cheve Chod Chagres, and then the Jizumelarebe, nor Sansing Bua, Dalame, Palame Gadin Duvangelson, the Palama, Marble Losagi, and it Chita, Dongagi, Ne, Karsun Shabati, and Yamli Gutoli Gayavati, the Kong Chobatamji Choti Institute, or Tinesud, or Tindu, Sabshi. Treda Travi, Shijintons, the Saba, Shiva, Traders, Saba City, Lelabuchin, Tocho Merinza, Sabaris. That was Shiva in the Karasana, Tender return Yamsulambina, Nyumbe, Neju, Dunya Tamje, Tilten, Shidu, or Shiwata, Shiva Nyande, Shiwatara, or Shiva Goba, or Tindiju Chetu Inza, Shiva. And Treva the Tara singing the Dinzing Treva. Kunzug Treva, and Ninan Nalia Jania Shevina, Ninan Treva Parki, Treva Ganga, Treva Nevershiva, Treva Neshi Shitembas, Kanda Treva Katamji Machina, Sangya Midua, or Treva Tamji Shiwach Gogdua, or Tindechi Inza, Sashi Tretan Travegi, Yumisheragi Paru Chimbe, Judenti, the Mato Bado Loberto with Chimegita, G, Lujeta, Nizere Tombala Soba, or Tindegi, Chongzing. The Taji guitar, Marumba, and Yangdaba, and the Tindichi, and the chances of Choba, Kundune, and Tadung Che Sanje, Karre, Tire, Solamne, Jolum Chimido, Paduya, Pevina, Kainetire, or Tindichi, Salam Tobo Tombuchi Paduya. Tukiji, Tundachi, Peve, Gaji Yore, or Timashiji, Darling every shows, so to Chevre. Yota Kandar, Gigin Tempe Gobati, Susiguria, Lopsum Lundogi, and the Jachires, no Tisungore.
And so then once we have found the guru, then what is how should one devote to him or her, and what is the purpose of devoting to him or her? So that's in the next verse. It says, "May I always be shown transcendent wisdom's meaning, just as it was taught to Sadaparudita, unpolluted by fall waters of misconception, profound and peaceful, devoid of elaboration." And and so once you have found the guru, then you have to rely on the guru and follow his or her advices, and and the purpose of relying on the guru is to gain all these knowledges and the insights and then the spiritual knowledges and the insight or the realizations, and so best way of repaying or offering to the guru is by doing the practices just as being advised by the guru. So just like Milarepa said, says, I have no plenty of wealth to offer, I repay my guru, repay my guru's kindness by offering him my practice like that. So so that's the best way to offer or repay the guru's kindness is by doing the practice just as guru has taught. And so here it talks about the profound and peaceful and devoid of elaboration. As the profound, which means very difficult, it cannot be easily understood. And peaceful, peaceful is once you have taken those advices of the guru, then you apply that into the path, and through which you can eliminate all the delusions, and then from there, from eliminating the delusions or abandoning delusions, you achieve the peaceful, the peacefulness and of the nirvana. And then the devoid of elaborations, so it's like I'm talking about the dualities, right? So the elaboration of grasping the true existence, or the dualities and the dual perceptions, and so without eliminating these elaborations, there's no way one can gain state of full enlightenment. So by studying and understanding the meaning of the perfection of wisdom, the mother, the sutra, perfection of wisdom, and not falling into the extreme of the nihilism or eternalism, and so also like in the case of the, like it says, Bodhisattva Sada Pararudita, who followed his guru Dharmagota, and when he first met, he was on a path of accumulation, and then in a very short amount of time, it is said that he jump up to the path of preparation. And so anyway, so by doing following this, one will find the realizations. And so the main purpose of relying on a guru is to gain the realizations of the three trainings, the paths.
Ta maungbala tseddiza mayimba kewa chimanamsu and chudube ten tanjogi milu togoya 단조기 땐 틀리야 튕게 치게 개외신이 다 최고야 개외신이 양타부지 일단 제고야 대마인 번간에 아니 지금 미개외신이다 미태야 어떤데지기 튕게 상황다 간견 차와게 체도 땅어물은 땅 간견 차야 체도야 뭐물은 가는 순구도스나 투배 공배 대 칠초배 따체 따와 똥버 제법보 미개신이 디베 돈남기 완도 나면 로마 주지스 따체 승인데 안지 돈도당 군뎁스 조군기 타닐 아니야 롱다야 어떤데지기 타니 든데지 송배이나 아니 양답에 따와디 녀토 말어와 양답에 따와지 마녀배이나 딩용무 배녀부 채토야지 용무 말어와 띵 삽선시나 데레 아니 다 지진 돈 지시아베이나 아니 개외신이 인스는 개개인지 인스체네 아니 인규 개와드바 임발라 아니 지 삼중용무 지규 디바체베 돈 개와드바 강야 안드라서로 든지 차베이나 벤차와 추스마서로 어딘데 체베이나 안고 냐가 인구도와 저번에 차와 추스마와로 벤나 배천으로 차베이나 아니 지 marchu cheni any ti gawati thaba thuri da thaba thogure sarjina that ne mai ba shujirwa any gele kasa jini jondeni ubumi senne ubuni jondemis osin dan jerum che jang to tu diga jonal sumana shinche ne da ne mai bas any kunu sambula tene any dibuti ji yoya kunu ngambala tene any dibut dungan yoya te panala shenya tsawa chebal tene any dibuti yongsaji ne zani yoya medeba oda tindiji ne ta ne mayimbala ya manowa ji lamde gigenji goya singinde shiu kechum chagdwa o tinde inza ta che ta tomba chebobo migishinge dibeto no wando na ndo majuji singi monam shira kechumure manzo tan zambulini ya yani chikyawa yani yandu yundu yani lumzu dan jawe singlo mad kawa kido ye hakwa meji indu yani kyawa jamadi singlo lung kibane shi kidu ta saja mano ji da yasajiya yani ta kibesho snumona jaba dabure.
And so, not only in this life, but even in the future lives, it is important to be able to achieve the prophet and rebirth, to be born as, prophet and born as a human being, and find all the favorable conditions, like the external favorable conditions of finding the perfect, perfectly qualified guru, and not meeting with the non-virtuous friends or non-virtuous teacher. So to sort of kind of pray and dedicate for that, and as mentioned in the next verse, it says, "May I never be influenced by negative friends or non-virtuous spiritual guides who teaches nihilistic or eternalistic views and external to what the Buddha intended." And so. And so here, talking about the nihilism and eternalism and the nihilism view. So, these, the misconceptions, wrong views, right? So it's talking about, many the things, that are not, right, what is not right and not what is not right. So, talking about. Like meeting with a non-virtuous friend or non-virtuous a spiritual guide, who tells you, you do this, wrong things, and you will have good things. Like, there's no way you can have a good result by, having a bad motivation. So from the good motivation comes a good result, and from the bad motivation comes, the bad result. And so, by creating non-virtuous action, such as causing harm to others, there's no way you can have a good result. So there's like some teachers, they mentioned that you have to do this practice of sacrificing animals, or offering their blood and so forth. If you do that, then you'll have good and good luck, and you'll be liberated and so forth. So those are wrong. So that's what Lama Tsongkhapa mentioned in one of these texts, that there's no way you can have
Jimbatawal then Joa Yungures, Senna Chevel then Joa Yungumares, Jini Jondeni Ulbumis, Selne Ubuni Jondemis.
And so what is correct and what is not correct, it's like if you practice generosity, then you will have a wealth. If you practice, miserliness, you will not have wealth. So that's the correct and incorrect. So the correct, is that if you practice generosity, you will have wealth. If you don't, if you practice miserliness, then you will not have. And so, so we have created all sorts of karma, and depending on our karma, we don't know where we're going to be born. So we're like a dry leaf which can be blown by the wind anywhere it blows, right? And so we are sort of kind of praying, so that we will be blown to a good place.
Sanju molam nala indua, kangi sanju molam ditabe, tene nge son tamje pawangyo, tene chobo ngemba pawangi, nawa taye teyan tenyu tongs. Molam dindechi duschi yahuchi gabainas, ti tula tene, nge son la mikewache yungurela, and ti tula tene, digbe chobo wandu mundoache yungurela, and ti tula tene, and jita nawa taye teyan tenyu tongs. Dewa chen di nyut kaya ya me na chik salam ki toba nyut kaya la ya tene lamde molam ki tul tene yungres kange sanju molam ditabes o tene sungu duwas o tenzo ko tada dini sanju molam da gudun rugu duwas.
And so this is also very similar to the King of Prayers, where in the King of Prayers is, by praying, just like it is in this King of Prayers, and one will be free from the lower realms, one will not, be influenced by the non-virtuous and spiritual guides, and one will also, through these prayers, one will also see, the Buddha of infinite light or Amitabha, or will be born in the in the Sukhavati, pure land. So here is also, similar to what is mentioned in the King of Prayers.
That in Mushi, that Mulum Dube, that Dingsi Jeb Savi Jela, and Mulum Titagi, that Tosam Gonsungi, Towa Yuli Gayagi, and Shide, what Kargu, but getting Mundu, but the Chimbere. That Mushi Mulum de Carresana, has a number of tabe, Tarchancher, Zundu Roba Meba, Lungi, Tosam Gombe, to Zen Lidan, Luchan Kovac or Dover shows. That Mute so digging to the Ketchamans, Luce, and Majusum Jetamje, Kove Dungi Jazo de Doyaga Tonda is. Tea, Kangat of the Drogo Resena, Tusam Gonsum in Yamling Ton, Labasum in Yamle, or Tendic Ton, Drogores, Tende, Telaya, and Hassam Gores, and better. Maybe Zundu Gores, or Tindeci, Keju Same Tone, and Dover shows, and Dorting to the team.
And so up to that, was the kind of the preparation, praying, to have this and that and so forth, and so after having mentioned the word of truth there, then the actual prayer starts from here. It says, hoisting the great sail of pure intention of free beings, blown by the winds of unslaking joyous effort, secure in the ship of study, thought, and meditation, may I free embodied beings, from samsara's ocean. And so, so how do we? How can one be free from? How can one be freed from the cycle existence or from samsara? Is by by practicing the three trainings. So like it says through the practicing of the thought, the study, the hearing, the contemplation and meditation, of the three trainings. And so on top of that, one has to have a superior thought. And then also a joyous effort, and so with that, then one engage in the practice, of the three trainings.
Hasam Yuba, Zundu Yuba, and Tosam Gonsu, Yamnegi Tone, and Legion Coatsol Dogo Resni, Kiju Chindan Surgi, Sudwada, Legion Coatsol Dola, Kiju Sundam, the Lich Godua, or the Nature. Now, the Telaya, and Namju Kadam Come Sundunala. 투다 시신도 곰다 명문 총았어. 다 tö바 가세 철철치 배 장배 특이 아니 나게 철철치 메이나 아니 tö바데 tö야는 친구마도 저기 tö바데 싱글 편바지 마중이 말해. 디인도 tö다 시시도 가지고 알았어. 아니 곰냐네 잡네 아니 지 녀몽디 충 누구 믿으나 아니 곰자고 거버도 차야 말았어. 아니 곰다 녀몽 친구가지고 알았어. 디인도 지자만도 퇴단 하버도 남다 주주 남지 셔럽기 다균 하버를 교가 대zam도 치지를 캔복군다 잡으셔스네 다지 퇴바당 되네 짐발라 지 하버 동선의 짐바 에네 남다 주중스도 주중 에네 다팅한데 존주 레그레 서바일랜도 가버래 에네 남주기 셔럽 어떻게 베디 치정기 에네 랑규리에 또 보이는데 지 연대 추르추르도 대정기 에네 나게 추르추르에 고르스 다 더다 시시도 공단 용은 좀 고르스 어디 쓴 거야 어디 내도 송하다 마송이 개발 때 때문에 말해 냠랭기 저번 내도 송 마송 개발 때 때문에 말해.
And so on top of having the superior intention, the superior intention and the joyous effort, with that you do the practice of the study, contemplation and meditations, and through that then one can be one can be free from the cycle existence, and so the sign of having studied, sign of having studied a lot, is that you should be more subdued. Instead of being more subdued, if you become more arrogant, through studying, then that's not a good sign. So as you learn more and more, you should become more and more subdued, more and more humble, and so forth. And then the sign of having meditated or gained the realization of meditation is where you have decreased the delusions. And so, if you are, the delusions have not decreased. Instead, if it increases, then that is not, the purpose of having done the meditation, and and so that's what is mentioned here. So no matter how learned and especially generous, pure of morality and discriminating in wisdom, my mind should become thus superior. May I, to equal extent, be free of consequent pride.
오 남주 가동 구매 순들려야 다니 군이 쭉도 꾸나야 오도 죽네 죽버대어져스 다 미츠기 배 콘시부지레스네 야 시부지 떨었다한제 구샵 시부지기도나 소소야 아니 배 대례장 있는 마사스 버지기 아니 배 군이 오도 죽투야기 아니 딘데지기 생 등세 과레스 오도드네 주버데버즈스 오드네 숭도스 도저 네지그레스.
And so so also like the former Kadama masters used to say that, and even as much as you are praised or respected, and so much so that they place you on their crown, then that much more you have to find a place at the bottom of the body, like that.
강도 수단 로베스 다니 군레 멘다시 샹라 삼바타와이 초도 제바 짐버 쇼스네 베기 답 검젠바 로종기 냠네바 깨다친부 랑탕바기 텐데 숨도 왔어.
And also, Geshe Lantamba, a great Kada master, also said that whenever I'm in company with others, may I always, see myself as the lowest, and with the pure thought, towards others, always see them as the most supreme. So this is even the great masters like that, have advice in that way.
오, 다코기 가르 디 삼노 디담베기 ane 레든 춤레드 카리어스나 나게트 슈충 땅가르스 나게트 슈충 땅바이나 디츠기 연den기레스 남주 순서라 나게기 kum불이 연den기 춤이 자사르스.
And so that way of thinking, will reduce, one's arrogance or pride. And so as much, as when possible, you reduce the pride, then that much more, and you will have the qualities. If you have too much pride, you will not be able to have any knowledges or qualifications. So there's a saying that on the spare, of pride, there will, there will the water of virtue or knowledge will not stay, not stay on the spare of pride.
다 이내 나제 생긴다 뽑아 생긴이데 뱃카르도 왔어 뽑아 생긴데 고도 왔어 가사 쉬베인 바스 가야 가사 가야 줄 다양한 치도 사마레 가장에 껴베이 가야 두순시베 자와의 청주접에 뭐처럼 상부접에 청주상 디군 말로 다그 줘버리 두순기 상계 탐지기 나모투야 야면나 두순기 상계 탐지기 제가 강가 마치고 차상 치게 있어야 돼 다디 나게 말했어 디 뽑아랬어 다 나게 셔버디 아니 현달이야 통중다야 된대질이야 나게 셔버렸어.
And so there's a difference between pride and confidence. So like if you have a confidence to do something, doesn't mean that you are proud. You are arrogant, and so just like I mentioned yesterday, so I will do all those, all the things that all the Buddhas of the 3 times have not been able to do. So what those that's not been able to do, by the Buddhas of the 3 times, I will do it. So that's confidence. It's not a pride.
다트네 투성 공순 and Kanda Chebu Yemeti, that's the Gaver which my Chen Sungiyore, Tadi, Karesana, Namda Ribeto, Surab, Chishin Jella, Shinjim Minjube, Kebe come to Tai Surab, Numame, Toba Chever shows. Then, Tiridua, Namda Ribeto, Surab, Chishin Jella, Sati, that Nagachim Shuchavres. Number Sanjay, Chuzu tea, and Lunzangi Japs Rumeva, and Ribeto and Rogo Yoba. Tende in the Tambashis Namuji Sungors, Zilla Mid, Turnate, Turnate, Tandona Mid, Nedernate, Nedernate, Ishila Mid, Namshil dance, was Timiji, Kansala Mid, Churde, Zilla Mid, Turnate, Turnate, Tandona Mid, Nedernate, Nedernate, Namshil Mid, Ishil dance, Dunshin Namshas, or Tati. Nanga Sanjay, Nanga Chambuching Rodas, Tindainsa, Namba Ribeto, Sura, Chishin Jella, Shinjin Minjuve, Kebe come to Taya Sura Lassen, Ribella Nejugures.
And then,
Terrachitanti. What is Sumares and Lamsatara Ijichin, the Yomarichevres?
So and then it shows how do we do the practice of the study, contemplation, and meditation in this verse. And at the side of the self-reliant great master, who reveals the meaning of all the texts, just as they are, though the force of pure logic, may I listen insatiably to the infinite scriptures. And so when you talk about taking refuge, so you should not just take refuge out of faith, but through the logical reasons. And so you have to find the reason why it is proper to take refuge in that object of refuge. So only through that then you should take refuge. So just like saying that we should not look at the person, but look at the teaching, what he's teaching. And don't look at the word, but look at the meaning. Don't look at the interpretive meaning, but look at the definitive meaning, and not at what the sense consciousness says, but what the mental consciousness is. So and so when you take refuge, just because others are taking, or just out of faith, you should not be taking refuge just like that, but by seeing the reason why you should take refuge in them.
Tanda di lobe singi sambe tenju modo jengin dreba tense na rechuna la rishi tebe jisun rawan nene dila tezo meba rabdo tangwa jewus chegi jisun rawan nene jidang tume nguni da tawe chiris odi kinsung di yende sun yendu ane wangdul ti ane ta tarang ka nambu tarang res samje ane teba yichi chechi dhugu res rishi tebe jisun rawan nene dila tezo meba rabdo tangwa jewus wangdul tebe jenrang sati 최기 제수 나오는 지다 두면 뭐니다 자유지스도 왕은 최기 전라스 어디 인고야 가르스 드니스 용고야 가르스 이 시실람 연남전 숨기 아니 지 연대디기도 마송인데 디 규젠티 지투절 소베 리베고네 엔테나 베그레스 체제 어두 숨거래 때는 베베고네 당와지 그레스 어다코 쳐야지 돈달라 단단 나란 책이 내 남배 bomba kawaji ne rida kholoji yungdowa rida ni je gide kholoji je dati ko 콜로티 가르친 거 알았으나 상계 좀 된데기 아니 까탕부 대시 충고 아니 콜로티 덴바시 때 수용인데 하나님이 알랄라 팅점물은 최기 콜로코로 쓰네 아니 배 떨어다지 디 콜로티 충고 알았어 다만은 틴데기 덴바시 충고 숭석이 두자들라 아니 왕두지 알았어 왕내지 알았어 어 틴데지자 왕두다 왕내니 쳐야지기 아니 리다포문이 어떻게 돼야지 어 tako transforma verda nalia chungo kwa resne sajati ji chungo yar ringu wandu wanu niya chuntuya ji himbare ene tia ene damebe tawa sumbe gone tena bebe inza rida singenti dame rida sirre o tinde inza ko damebe chumbe ji res o tinde sungo yare dabe masungwe soja jirwa o dame ko 인지결 와일드 세마레 다메르바 어딘자 디기 다메디 텐디 양 고야여스 어딘 순거래
And so just like the great master Haribada who commented it, the interpretive and definitive meanings, and also said that there are two kinds of disciples, so those who are sharp-faculted and those who are dull-faculted. So the dull-faculted ones are the one who just follow with the faith and without any doubt, any kinds of doubt. But the sharp-faculted ones are the one who always follow with the reason. So if we talk, so why is it like that? Why should it be like that? And why can't we do this way and that way and so forth? So even when you're talking about the knowledge base or the path base, path knowledge and so forth, or the omniscient mind and so forth, all these things, it is talking about all that. The three knowers, then why is it like that? Why should I? And so all these, questions asked and checked in that way. So those are the follower of the sharp faculty, and the sharp faculty followers. And so also in the many Buddhist temples, you see that on the gate, there's a sign, the Dharma chakra in the middle, and then two deers, on each side of the Dharma chakra. So what that symbolizes, the Dharma chakra is the turning of the wheel of Dharma, the first turning of the wheel of Dharma on the Four Noble Truths given by Buddha Shakyamuni at the first teaching. And so then there's and so the gods they praise Buddha for having taught the Dharma, so therefore they symbolize that. And then these two deers, two deers you see on the side of each side, it symbolizes one two kind of disciples, dull faculty and the sharp faculty disciples. And some say that also because the teaching was given in the place called the Deer Park, in Varanasi, and then also that symbolizes that. But also there's another saying that the deers they are wild. They're not domestic. They're wild. So they are no self, the selfless, which means like a wild. So so also symbolizes that. So anyway, so there are two kinds of disciples: the sharp faculty and the dull faculty ones.
Today in the rebellion, the Dalai Lama and in Yango Resati, that Nangachamuji, the Nangachamuji in the Tishishibo Korarangi, and Galondagan Kenam, CJ Dave session, Labartala Naika, Lamarchay, Kuchimis, Pena searching Yavina, Jevata, Darwata, Seba, or say Je, Darsungu Done, and Timatara Yume. That called it Tara Yume, and Cheva Naishi, and in Ye Kantamati, Kanan Sugi, and then the Cheva Sungi, Tongu, Junse Goju, Shindu Gojugi, Cheva Sungi, Cheva Bone, and he's saying yes, and in Yakal Samachagore, Timato, Malakuba, Samachago Maris stage, the Tishi Vorang Sumbi City, that never chum shujres.
So that shows that we have to follow with the reasons. So you have to find a logical reason to the things that you are doing. The practice that you're doing. You should find and then follow with that logical reasons. And that's why Buddha himself said, the bhikshus and the learned ones, examine my teaching well, and just like someone who buys the gold will examine the gold by rubbing it, cutting it, burning it and so forth. So when you buy a gold, you rub it and you cut it and then you burn and answer in order to find whether it's a pure gold or not. So just like that, you have to examine, the teachings. There's many different ways of examining. So those which are obvious, you can find that way with the logical, and then those who are slightly hidden or extremely hidden. So there are the three different analyses. You have to find out the teaching and follow it.
Oh, that decision rangi, the energy sumbati, gombata tumba, ben. Tishishi Ranigi, and Kolo Pavekali, Yumshiragi Parotichumba, Sungaki, Chetam Moni Meva Sungati, and do just send some rig of Tindelaya, and Moni Meva, Nabasuna Gone Sumba in that Sarji, or Gundatsini Moni Meva Gone, and Kolo Pava the Sumba in that Sarji. She wanted you to run singing trouble Gone, Kolo Tango the Sumba in that Sarji, or Tusin. Do je come to Meval Tene, and Tishishiba Ranga Kalia, Tishishiba Rangi Comba Drene, or Tindesu 송야 중도 왔어. 딱고 말하면서 간주 코레나는 배제 제야에 되어 지러봤어. 디신시고 코란 거 송은 다 틴데기 아니 시디 실라샤네 아니 뱅고 파발루 둘러서고 뒤지기 아니 리벨람네 때나베네 까텔라 아니 리베자바 체네 아니 never met of a chiti, that netheres. And rebate Jabachene never you don't, Titishin will carredasene, Chasha Mevacheni, or Titi, Duje come the Mevel ten Sumbere, the combating in Dores, or those Cheni, that she Lamduna Shabati, that page Chulu Mongo shooting the moon Chumikine, number Sanjavi, Chuzu Kona, Tishin will choose Kona model, and Medevachi Imbares, that rebellion, Namjuton Tanabo, Tindainsa, Namda rebel to be sort of Tensati, the number two Mahimachigi, Naji Sungioris.
So Buddha himself, also, mentioned, to follow the logical reasons to, find out. So, but then Buddha also himself have taught in many different ways. So something that exists, from their own side, naturally, inherently, and some, do not exist, from their own side. So in the, that's like based on the understanding and the view, of the disciples, and then he taught in different ways. So based on the disciples, of the mind, only school, and he taught the all imputed phenomena. In the second turn of the will of Dharma, he taught all imputed phenomena, saying it's all completely imputed by mind. There's nothing exists from his own side. And then based on the disciples of the mind only school, who for them to understand the well-established phenomena and dependent phenomena, and says things exist in this way and that, so forth. So Buddha himself also have said and taught in different ways. So that's all those kind of becomes interpretive, interpretive, teachings. So that can be interpreted, according to the disciples, of that school or view, and so also. So those the teachers like later who came like Nagarjuna and so forth, so they all also applied all the reasons. So if they find any faults or harms in that scripture, then that's that's not accepted, and those that doesn't have any harms from the logical reasons, then they're accepted, or then categorized as interpretive teachings and so forth. So that kind of teaching, like that's what is mentioned here in the text. So who reveals the meaning of all texts just as they are taught, for the force of pure logic. May I listen insatiably to the infinite scripture. So that kind of, the teaching, which is taught in that way, so that you can follow the logical reasons to prove it, is only taught in Buddhism, not in other religions.
고 대바조 제백이 최지 용도 왔어. 아니 리베타제 제백 토네 남주 토네 아니 제바 제백고는 지승구 제바 제백고는 로고야 최지 용도 왔어. 고 디인데 아니 좋아 땅사요 봐. 아니 디 고바 주센 제바 제세요. 근데 개바때 됐어도 왔어. 디 요고 내가디 니질 투버를 봤어. 근데 인도 단단히 공당 숭래 공당 건조 템베드메 숭 우세 숭도 주베 따와다 층을 제다 8월 침배 곰 마산 랍숭 yapte kyobena kab영나라 상을 없이 안스 땅 안주 리우기루 버저기 셰다 첨부터 저기 중재 kab영나 따야디 카자버서야 돈다 로정 잡지 말했어 가르르스나 라오숭이 냠는 거도 왔어 다 라오숭이 냠는 제국의 연하스 아니 수중길라바 띵해진길라바 셰라길라바 야부지 영향 단달라 우마다 참마디 야부지 마주나 셰라길라바 야부지 이게야 거래 용부 말았어 대인자 우체 송도 주베 따와다스 따와티 다 되네 추응을 죄다 바로 침바디 아니 딱 공기 냠는 드레스 어떤데 인자 따곰스 추응을 죄다 바로 침베 곰스 다와는 두어 가르치는 장고를 설레인데 템베 낭주 되죠 다 수릉길라바디 시대인자 템베 남준 두아레스 티숨보티 슝제가병나부티 차사지 마중보이나 럽숨 야텐 루두아스 마찬 럽숨 야테 교베나 가병나라 창을 럽시 아사야디 다 지 가자고 써야 다 세적셔야 지 돈다 많이 봐 가동 공면 숨들어야 애니 가사 퇴바당 주반이부터 로로바직도 마송바 아니 찌도 기도지 고그레스 시에바도 주반이 찌도 야 시주니 로로발라 마송 시주니 숨리지 고그레스 원내가 되래 규센 틀을 때네 단단히 도디 경에 나는 딘데 숨도와 술내 퇴당 삼dembe 그말 티마래 도디 인식지야래 내나 당보 퇴를 때네 내나 당보 퇴를 때네 안에 수신 일을 제버도 연구했어 수신 일을 제발 때네 안에 공부도 연구했어 드네 이네 공부티기 인 살롱도 야 줄게야지 연구했어 가테 퇴바다 삼바데 매베이나 퇴바 매베 공부도 라둥살 잘라 지버다스 라고리리 차강 레멘도와스 딘데 인도 퇴바 냐바친도 고그레스 삼바 냐바친도 고그레 드네 공부도 연구했어 제제 토성 공수 야마타바사 내가 딘데 시주 숭데사 딘데 말해
So there's they're just following the faith, following the faith and believing in the teaching and just following out of faith in that, or also following with the logical reasons. So because you have these options, therefore there comes the possibility of asking questions and answering and so forth. So just like Khensur who mentioned about these texts, importance of having importance of studying the texts. So in the great monasteries, the monks study all these the 5 major texts. And so they study that not just to become more talkative or big mouthed, more talkative like that, but to apply that into the practice. So if you haven't studied, then there's no way you can apply that into practice. So so if you haven't studied about the middle ways and the value cognition and so forth, you will not be able to generate the wisdom. And you will not able to have the wisdom, and so if you and you will not be able to have not be able to generate the pure view of the wisdom in your mind. And so also if you don't have and then also if you didn't study the perfection vehicle or Prajna Paramita and about the Abhidhamma Kosha, then you will not be able to meditate. And then if you don't dua matana dua de
joba tembe namjun duwe joba sums tabun jo.
And if you do not study the Vinaya, then you will not be able to preserve the teachings of the Buddha. So the what preserves the teachings of the Buddha is the Vinaya. So all this you need to have all these studies to have the realizations of all these paths. And so the study and the meditation or practice has to go together, hand in hand together. So without a study, there's no way you can do the practice. So by depending on the study, then you will be able to able to have the morality, or the ethical behavior, and with that, then you will be able to meditate. So without studying, there's no way to meditate. So that would be like a crippled person, trying to climb on a rocky mountain. This is not possible without a hand, to climb on a rocky mountain. Right? So just like that, there's no way you can meditate, without study and contemplation.
Oh, that take up the Lia, Jizu Miller, the Tanya Mamboyaris, and Jizu Miller of Kuzidel San Gavra, Jizu Miller of Lobjon Shadana Yamarwa, and San Gazi to us, or to listen Mamboyaris.
And then there's also people who say that Milarepa didn't study all these things, but how did he gain enlightenment in one lifetime?
Didn't they in Samaris? Jizu Miller, then Lobjon then Nashas, Jizu Miller with Siji Yore, Tawa Sunju Mashena, Konde Runyom Kalashes, Gomba Sunju Mashena, Dunge Gendu Kalashes, joba sungju ma she na shenpa ranglo kane yungs ta tsi kangpa chuma do meduwa ta ti nandale ya ngone tane tanda lamji zo namba sung janayi jaya ye dewa jiresha tagum ju sung kanga jaya ye dewa jiresha tawe ko di tawa sungju sidi ting sabu shivu sungdu gomba sungju sidi ting sabu shivu sungdu joba sungju sidi ting sabu shivu sungdu was kandar tawa sungju seyindu tani su malungwa chigi oti sungdu was tachigi tani su malungwa chigi tongpa tingjung chosu shawa tingjung tongpa chosu shawa tawa sungju sayadigi gomba sungju ma she na dungi gendu kala she sengen tigi ani rangdundu kowe nimi la meo tatu tonya chigla shendundu peme chola juba nga shinchigi o tindigi sungju chi go res o timayi na dungi gendu she tu umaris o tinde sungduwa ta joba sungju ma she na shenpa ranglo kane yung sidu joba tili ya ani jigden chugigi time magobi chi go res ti machungna ani joba sungju yungu marisanda kandar tagum jusu ninjung changsan yandaba tawa sungriya jarne sungduwa timi kungtangi tinde deshe kyungduwa o tinde redesha tinde indi jizu mela rewe taksaya tangi tinde na yume mishindi kandar nyamle nang tajo re lobjong nang tajo re.
So it's not like that, it's not that Milarepa didn't study at all. Definitely he has studied, so he has composed these texts saying that because Tawa Sungju Mena
Tawa Sungju Mashena Konderu Nyong Kanglishes Ta Kowa da Nyande Tamje Tene Taza Mado Yurangun Meba Chiba Oteneju Ronyung di Shetuya Kabores.
So if you don't talk about if you don't understand the unification of the view, then how will you be able to understand all this the samsara and nirvana are empty of inherent existence or of the same test and so forth. Gomjung
Gomba Sunjung Mashena Dunge Gendu Kalashes Rangdun to Koale Karsa Tiniji Koa Mirita to Ninji Tangbet Nambetso Petsu Jubatarasan Koa the Rangdun to Sambaina but Niara Legan Damjurgi Koal Shambalocha Guares Ninjum Shukcha Guares Yena Shendun to and Kavan Keve Patu and Kovenaria Jubalia and Shumbakun Mavachigi Pemetol Namajuanashi Guares Team the Dunge Gendu Shevich Guares Dunge Gendu Kalashes the Gomba Sunju things.
And if you don't understand, the unification of the meditation, then how will you be able to have the renunciation, towards the cycle existence and so forth. So, it says when it generates renunciation, towards cycle existence, then you should have even stronger, much more stronger than the hearers and sort of realizers. When you think about, your own self. When you think about your own self, you should have renunciation towards cyclists even more stronger than the hearers and sort others. But when you think about others, benefiting others, then you should, enter in the cyclists, just like the swans, enter into a lotus pond and so forth. And Choba Sungju.
Choba Sungju Mashena Shamba Ranglo Kanayos, Shamba Ranglos, Shamba Los and Jigden Chujigi, Time Makova Tenre, Chujigi Time Makova.
And then if you don't understand the unification of the action or behavior, then how will you be able to have so this is talking about the 8 worldly concerns, and so how do we give up or abandon the 8 worldly concerns?
Oh, that London also Java ina Joba Sunju tiki Ninju imbare, Gomba Sunju tiki Chanju say imbare, Tanda the Tawa Sunju tiki Tanda Yanda Tawa Tere, what the Tata Lamzu Sundore.
And so this also includes like all the the 3 principal aspects of the path that we talk about here, and is included in there. So it's like the unification of the action or the performance shows the renunciation, and the unification of the meditation shows the bodhicitta, and unification of view shows the correct view.
Oh. And Tande the Umer Lamgitole, Haleva Sungduas, 돈탄 덴베 왕도는 길 산제 니가 메슨 따든 자네 게 니가 말을 산제 니가 말스 따든 자네 니야지 요 말스 돈탄 덴베 왕도는 길 산제 니가 메스 다와나 군조 타니도야 매버르베스인데 데 말스 에마 선제 메큐나 두수 산제 질리 중스 군조 덴베 왕도는 탐제 유지 투베숭스네 아니 베데 타니도 아니 자제기 남샤 탐제 대문체니 샤고브레스 제제 안 따든자네 랑원의 주베 코와싱인도 상계싱인도 요 말에 타니 점도 자제기 남샤 되게 참마 조고브레스 어떻게 되게 타니세베 어멜람 뱅고파고 루루기 야세고 공부나 신전도 숨고도 왔어.
And also he taught very intensively about the view about the middle way, and so he talked about how things do not exist from their own side, and so when you look for it, you will not find it. You will not find the cyclist, and you will not find the Buddhahood either. So nothing will be found, upon searching or upon looking for it. And then if you don't find it, then doesn't it exist at all? Does it not exist at all, even conventionally? Then he said no. It's conventionally, nominally, things things do exist. And so all this view about the ultimate view and the ultimate truth and the conventional truth are explained just like the intention of the great master like Nagarjuna and so forth.
Oh, and Jeremy Lamri Chemena Sungyares, oh, Nyame Chevala, Shung Chembol, Tosong Gugu Marisati, Tamba Nubi Kendi and Ditches, oh, Tanda Shandachi or Tingimido, or Dusin, Tamba Nubi Kendi and Tindru, Nyanga Chemboyaris, Shung Chembol, Tosong Gugu Mare, Nyame Digre Sati, oh, Tamba Nubi Kendi and Ditches, or Dusin Sungyar. Shung Chembolo, Lunya Mabaje, Nyamne Chevala, Shung Chembolo, Tosalunya Gugumare Sagi, Taduti, and Tamba Nubi Kendi and Ditches, or in the Sumyara.
So Lama Tsongkhapa also mentioned that someone who says that you don't have to study extensively in order to do the practice. So if someone who says that, that becomes a condition for the decreasing of the Dharma, for the degeneration of the Dharma.
That in the Inza Mumba Tuba Chever said, "Good using Shuji Yabache." That in a Tuba Chiluchitan Karare sending that monad and the Tindu Siri that Tumaji, that Ribati Sungware, Chitara Tuba, Ribashi, Ribashin's Tisha didn't know Pejamare, Paushagi Shida Agwingre, she Paushagi Shisa Shingre, Chedangre, Chitara Tuba, Ribashi, Nindan Sendo, Sushi Radan, Samjana, Samle Chungi, Namjuloi, Tasum Chever show, Sati, that Tosam Gonsum and Samjun in Dire. That Ribashi Sati, Chidan, and Lamri Chemenalaya, Sowa Truda, and Tio de la Ribashi City, Sungudua. That Tizu that's all to Yuksha, that Ribashi Chigogan Chavina, and Teveriba, Chawa Cheveriba, Teveriba, Chuni Ribas. Tell Tane Dingure, did the Teveres, or Tennessee, she penned Kanda Kanyon singing on the Tane Chumber said, Teveribas. That in May Sig Chawa, and Chu Chawa, which is said with the Chawa Cheveribas. That in a Tirugri was at the Jabasumgi, that Tuamunyu Dembechala, Musun Semen Nova Yotame, Jabachene, Musun Semen Nova Meva, Junse Koyu Dembechala, and Yiche Javagi Nova Yomagi, Jabachene, and Tin Nova Meva. Shindu Koyu Dembechala, Yiche Lunga Nova Yome, Jesu number Tabe Gone, Jabacheati, and Jabacheve Gone, that Dimata Rosamindu Sati, that Dera take do Sati, and the Tebe Driveribas. That Tigiti Ribatikiti Yong Tuyagi, she did the Karasna, that Chuni Ribas, to call Chunires. Then Mekona Sasiberashi, Chukona Lesheverashi, Chuni Riba, Chuni Ribati Tone, the Chuni di Ribatone, and the Tebe Ribatea Yon to Yoba, Chava Cheve Ribatea Yon to Yoba, and the Tebe Ribatea Yon to Yoba. That was a tearing road on the Jibutiana at once.
And so, just like it said, that may I listen insatiably to the infinite scripture. So listen here also means to study. So not just listening, but being like study. So you have to study in order to do the practice. And so that's what. Then once you have then how do you prove it, right? So that's very similar to the science. So here it mentioned, right, day and night fully analyzing the meaning of what I have heard or studied, and through well applying the 4 types of reasonings. And may I dispel all doubts concerning those points that's considered through the discriminating awareness reason from contemplation. And so here in English, it does mention about the reasons, right? 4 types of reasons. In Tibetan, there was like a little bit mistyping. So Rinpoche mentioned about that is referring to the number 4, not like, but number 4. And so we don't have much time to go through all these. So the 6 Torah. 6 searchings and 4 reasonings. The 4 reasons. So here I also mentioned about so it talks about the 4 types of reasoning. So the 4 types of 4 reasonings are the reasoning of the dependences dependence, and then the reasoning of the action, and the reasoning of the correctness, how correct it is, and then the reasoning of the reality or thusness. And so first one, the dependence, so how this depends on that, so this comes because of that, and so the harm and the benefit all comes from by depending on such and such. The harm comes from the harm comes the suffering, from the benefit comes the happiness. So that kind of dependence reasonings, and then the reasoning of the actions, like the action of the fire is to burn, and the action of the water is to wash, and so forth. So that kind of the reasonings, and then the reasoning of the correctness is like so things are correct just like it is. So like we talk about the 3 analysis for the things that are obvious, that are not slightly hidden and extremely hidden. So for the things that are obvious, we can see it. So it should not contradict to our sense consciousnesses. If our sense consciousness sees it like that and things like that, then that is obvious, right? And then slightly hidden, those which cannot see directly with our sense organs, and we have to depend on the inferences, inferential cognitions, all right? So because it's like this, therefore that is like that, so that kind of reasonings. And then the extremely hidden ones, we cannot even apply the logical reason to prove that, and so it has to just based on the scriptural reasonings. Scriptural reasonings, and based on that, then we understand that. And then the reality, the reasoning of the reality is that's the reality. Like the the fire, the nature of the fire, burning, is the nature of the fire, and the drenching or being wet, is the nature of the water. So so that's from that. Then you also understand the other reasonings, the reasonings of the correctness, reasoning of the action, reasoning of the dependence, and so forth.
That ndegi ribenamsha ji duyati moto denzore de duas tak moy ni chuchilia 심주 체진 로고야지 차고도was tak moto denzo 인자 tsiri da tumbare saade 차고 열었어 tsiri de moy ni chuchilia 심주 체는 루기여자 moto denzos 다나 캠민들이 개발 가르침을 했으나 단행 나란스디 시제 남랑 돈에 에너지버 쳐가지 말아왔어 모y ni 주 쳐가지 말아왔어 다 심규 딘두야 체도 아니 모y ni 주디 제주 체버지로 왔어 다 체리부터 되기 단답하도 단다 연주기 체리부터 되기 뭐여기 내주대 세제 남랑 공부 중에 돈달라 아니 뭐 된도 모토 된서 쳐버 봤어 또그 미유디 디스카도 왔어 지 랑기 심균두야 체도 모두 된서 지 세제 남랑 셰비치도 모두 된서 쳐야기 개버친버려 마토 지기 지 탑줄 제바 제단디 아니 뭐여기 내주당 가도 민도 어째바 쳄지 이 로당 임바데 다 찍버렸어 근데 제가 인자 아니 단데디 균제 땡중기 내주 디셰베 아니 가리용 그랬으나 아니 지 덴루두다 내가 몬두두다 어떻게디 엔트네 셰용 그랬어 냠낼 잔 레윤도 다 때네 답에 땡중 민자다요 정기 땡중 땡데 참무티기 뭐도 된소 제가 깔라 아니 대단 진강 무슨 가대백이 친절로로 묘무승인데 다 견제인 뭐지 셰베토네 아니 묘무 방배 타와 아니 타바주야 되네 용그랬어 어떻게 냐멜야 잔 셰인도 모두 된소기 땡디 차라 토네 아니 내가 그 주자다 터도 그 주자데 아니 루타 포토 체네 용버 왔어 제가 리벨은 내가 베세트 투스레스
and so because it's searching or it's analyzing, analyzing to search or to find out, the reality. So it's a very similar, with the science in a sense that we are analyzing, analyzing, to find, what is the real, what is the reality, right? And so in the science, the reality, I mean, trying, searching to find the reality in order to understand more about the things. To expand the knowledge about the things, but in Buddhism, the purpose of finding the reality is to subdue the mind. So the purpose, that's the difference only. So one is to find out more, more about the things, but in Buddhism is more about subduing one's mind. So if you understand the reality, then how that helps one to achieve higher realizations and liberations and so forth. So by understanding about the dependence, and interdependence of the cause and effect. Cause and effect, then that will help one to achieve higher realization, a higher rebirth, as human, God, and so forth. And then by understanding the reality of the dependent arising, or about the wisdom realizing, emptiness or selflessness, which is the contradicting to that the mind, which contradicting to that mind, even though it holds the same object, but it holds in a contradicting way. So that would be the delusions, right? So how one then one find out about the delusions, and by eliminating that, then one can achieve liberation and so forth. So that is that is the only difference of how to search for the reality. The science in a way is just to find out about the things, but in Buddhism is more to do with the subduing of the mind.
초와 주당 리바시 고네 아니 다 모두 된저거 토네 수수 강라 강전지기 다 디마도 다 로사면도 삼베 아니 녀바지 녀인데 다 녀바녀 서르바 강 단데 남줄로이 대중 처벌주스 강지 신도 사베 추줄라 삼줄로이 니신예베 체스 다 센디 추와체베 준주기 엠바테네 추시 주버쇼스 아니 딘데기 투성기 돈도 제샤베 시텔이야 아니 더 돈도 쳐야 잠지 마샤바 아니 디토리야 수수 닌다 챈도 배전체네 아니 말메 연데 고네 콘도 페야기 텔이야 콤리쳐버스 곰시바네 자탄네도 곰벨람스네 로텔 디버체바지로 곰시거스 어떤데지네 콤리된 거 그랬어 제제 어떤데 순거스.
And so then through these 6 searchings and 4 reasonings, and one find out the things. So just like it is said here, dispel all doubt concerning those points that's considered through the discriminating awareness and reason from the contemplation, and then the
Titananga Labgui.
No.
Tedartuson Gombe Jawai Gomben and Gulin Tilame. Some June Loy, Nishi Nebetse, and Tundu Tembe Gone, and Susu Karsate, Gom Yamlin Chagures, Lotele and River Chagures, Kumri Chagures, and but then Tsushin Druba shows.
And so then when it says, when I gain a definite certainty in the very profound teaching, through the awareness arisen from contemplation, then with the joyous effort cutting clinging attachment to this life, may I properly practice in isolation. And so, and then once when I have understood that, then when have done the hearings in the and or study and the contemplation, then one has to put it into practice or into meditation. And so the meditation here, it means to familiarize one's mind with the object.
No, kadang komen sundri ki tanya ji yoris, mig yangsings, kong sanglus, lo jajes. Oti nengaji redas. Shendaji yang kumdang sungre. Niri sejam misa zunru zom. Shumatane kebe kumbande. Shaksum lonze jeme yinwe ke tenda tela jira miyo zomba chuwe gindu tenshi ans. Pet jik nizuru jik des jik koyundu. Anta jik lamsa jik togo nyogo jik kero chana samru jik tsawar jik cheje yo. Ko kero ma jero kala ya nima nisum jero ene ya gilu je. Ene dos chene ya togo je tu mares. Tende yinza mig jansin ni pet mitsi di dansa mayimba. Tsarab hatu sine pet togo yul kaya jiki mi taringu padu jango kuru mig jansins. Ane kong sang le sine di kaya ini yong sigre samba jiki tende ki pet tsiriba nakshin jiki ane lingye kaya yong sigre samba jiki tende ki rangda chongzi mayimbe ane tende jiki shi namsha ane kaya yong sigre jiki chasha ane susu jeba sungi jeba chayni ane ribati da tuyo matu dus che da chogri sa tila ja chogri samado o dus chayni lo busu toba mayimba lo jay kong sang le bach kogris da lo jake sa di ane shung chunju jili yango kodeba mayimba ane shung chenpe mangbe gongba ane ne jili ya tsu jituya o tini ji pani kyamdo jigo jili samdamba ina ya sanje li kyabsu cho, cho li kyabsu cho, gindu li kyabsu cho se ti tsik tegarang nali ya ane ji dinshi namsha, dinying namsha tuzu changma di nali ya ruk kali ya le yunga jigi karsa tenpa tamze 주실람기 켈시바 나이 라마 쓰는 롬도르문지 숭고래 롬도베 주실람기 켈시바 쓰는데 시직 주인도 용조로 있는 베데 야 케요아지 엔 고레스 어 드니스고 어 드니지기 엔 로자제토 고레스 어 드니스고 도저 개침부 인거래
네 건당
단데들 가동 고면 숭래 니르 세점에서 존주 좀 쓰는데 공당 숭래 니르 세점에서 존주 좀 샤스 가서 슈마타는 개베 도만데스 샤스는 근데 제메 이게 텐다텔 지하면 좀 추이긴데 대시 안스 센데 추어추가 존주기 엠바테는 추시주로 쇼사데 이게 돈다도 좋습니다.
So this is again, explanation on may I properly practice in isolation. So there's lamas, Khonsur also mentioned about like how to practice, without even with a strong joyous effort, without even eating and so forth. So Rinpoche mentioned all these verses, but I couldn't remember all that, to translate. So, but anyway, so the other Lama mentioned about when we do the practice. So you always should have a far distance, aim. So not like so when you hear something, then you expect to do the practice and expect to have the realization right away. And if you don't have the realization, then you you give up easily. So it should not be like that. So always think about practicing for a long time, to have the realization maybe not immediately, not in this life, maybe in some lifetime, like that. So you should have that kind of thought, and be prepared, to face with any kind of condition. Like anything can be possible, anything can happen, and it can be good or bad. Anything can happen. So whatever happens, continue to do the practice. So that you can also apply, with the science and the reasonings, because things can happen, right? And so then things like that. And then also he says like, and I have I said like Mikrsa, Migjase,
mi jangsins mi tar ngultus
Tamal somebody.
ti tamboi
Lodja.
mi jangsins kong sang hus lo jakes
Lodja, right?
lo ti jachmu jes
Oh, no, that's Lodja. And so,
tayin du ganga thontum nyechi lo jakes
and so then the third one is like, just having extensive mind. It's like not just studying, very small subject.
naga ti samtayin du shenga ti changmal ruk ti chule yachi
Not just small, studying, not just studying a small subject and then only, contemplating on that or only thinking about that. For example, like when you take a refuge, take refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and then you only think about that, that will be very small. So you can apply, all other practices, the Four Noble Truths, Four Truths, and the True Truths, and so forth. You can apply all this, and so just like it is mentioned in Lamrim, that like the pulling of the four square, like if the four square of the cushion. And if you pull one, so you pull all other corners. If you pull one corner, it pulls all other four corners also. So it should be like that. So you apply, you do one practice, but that should include all other practices as well.
tatene gombe nyamlen tiliya momba tilayam dorden chi da geshi chi yebeche dorden tela tetar thosam gombe jawaye gombe nano gyula chumbe se sila kambe tsende nawanda randen develo no minju sho singedi ta dorden di imbare.
And so then on the point of meditation, there's the extensive one and the short one. The short one, or the abbreviated one, is the first. The next verse. This is when thus, through hearing, contemplation, and meditation, realizations and the conquerors intended are born in my mind. May desire for lives clinging to samsaric states or for personal liberation never arise in my mind.
Ta geshi tilayya ta salam jagina ane satambo jimbe parchingi nyamne sanyiba chulungi parchingi nyamne saru tigana shingi chi sararang gochugi nyamne ji yungu yorela ane shigan rane ane kasa jasegi choba tela parching chugi nyamne yungu yoza ane tigi parching chugi nyamne tigi rinpashindu yunga sho sayagi 노는 거처럼 다게 도배 뭐고 탐절라 마찰로 있으나 좀 도마성시 짐베 선전 코드드네 취기 침제 쇼스기 되게 짐베 냠래 되체.
And then for the extensive explanation, there's so you can the practice of the bodhisattvas, which includes the six perfections, right? And so from the first ground, and one does the practice of the generosity extensively, and then the morality in the second, and so in order so like kind of to have praying to have those realizations, and then it's mentioned in this next verse, where it says having overcome mindfulness through the mind of detachment, and towards all possessed in the wealth, may I first gather beings into my circle with the material generosity, then bring them satisfaction by teaching the Dharma.
다 지다른 거에 라바 참아야 인주 선배 전주 토지고 소 지연 동안 이제 타외 견제다도 좀 쇼싱인데 수중이 냠내는 뭐 봐체.
And so that is the practice of the generosity. And then the next one, it says, through the renunciation up until enlightenment's attainment, may I always uphold the victory banner of liberation, never giving up even the slightest precept that I have received, and even for the sake of my life. So that explains the practice of the morality.
다 달라 디초 창주 심제는 통음 퇴섬 일라 템베세 공주 자신 라야 대다기 연대주지 소고 공부 쇼세데 세베냠네제 다 두조 바 게버치기나 엔 준주 나네 루수스나나 바요그 루다 세벨루다 두조난 만두기나 엔 야체르루스.
And then next verse is when seeing, hearing, or thinking of beings who beat, accuse, or humiliate me, free from anger, may I in return express their qualities and cultivate patience. So that's the practice of the patience. And so this extensive explanation is also given in other texts like the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life, where each chapter is dedicated on each of the perfections.
다 까르베치나 마도 토바다 톰네 고노 페발레 냠르체베 레로 넘바수 고노 반데 준주 좀 쇼생데 준주기 냠라를 몸바.
And by having completely abandoned the three types of laziness that prevent both attainments of virtues, not yet attained, and further development, may I strive with joyous perseverance. That explains the practice of the joyous effort.
다때네 신단 넘벨 한동 또단데 신단 넘벨 닝제 랭게베 파치 시바 펜버 제바이 신의 반데 숭지 고머쇼스네 어디 삼등이 냠래다 셰르비 냠래 숭지리야 에네 라고야 어디 숭도와스 디기 자 삼등 티나리야 신단 넘벨 닝제 랭게 웬생데 믹스케 주지레스 신단 넘벨 한동 또단데 생데 지다 한동 치료발레 열바스.
And then, having abandoned the quiescent states that on the whole cause cyclic rebirth are devoid of the insight that subdues samsara and dry of the compassion that prevents passive peace, may I integrate the two. So that's the integration of the contemplation, the concentration, the profession of concentration, and the wisdom.
준주 qabla something lu sungdu dakshin nyamje ko te mixe chen sungdu was o te something lu nang sungdu was o tidang dagi jizumela rebe ane gomba sungju ma shena dungen gen du kalashi sungya tidang tandende shintan nambe ningje lengge mensa dozo papsa chigl phagodu was ta something singde samchi chidu neba tetsong ke ja mares 다 something 티나야 띵진기 개주 티나라 안에 dak신 냠제고네 전주승이 냠제티기 사무 티나야 something 차세나야 두용하죠 두 띵자 신단남be 닝젤랭기벤스
so here where it says that subdues samsara and are dry of the compassion that prevents passive peace. So here, when it talks about the contemplation, it's not only just contemplation or meditation, contemplation, but also it includes the other practices, such as the like in Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life, on the section or chapter on the contemplation, it explains about equalizing, exchanging self with others very extensively. So also like earlier when when we talked about Milarepa's teaching, where he talked about the unification of the meditation, it's just not only talking about meditation or contemplation only.
다 미루 사면도나 따주네 로징이 제 동바 촌즈베 로베 땅에 타다라반데 죽은 되는 동바 더블쇼 스긴들라 다 로지기 동바 니제 동바스 다 두조 마임바 아니 가르사 다 타니 세베 아니 우멜람 어떤데지 또 고그레스 어떤데지래 다 공문에 좀 두주이나 네가 안 되시 가정하고 같이 자살아봤어.
And then as they say, having fully abandoned the misconceived views, holding a supreme sum made up in a partial emptiness, out of fear of the ultimate nature of existence, may I realize all things primordial emptiness. 가르사를 뭐지? 똑바디.
아.
그냥 가서 똑바 가르사를.
이게 것도 와서 다 들려.
내로 삼았던 또 전에.
우가사. 로지기 동바. 니츠 동바. 로지 니츠 동바 초점에서. 로지기 동바. 배는 샘잠에 따왔대. 로지기 동바를 단주에 시사잖아. 아니 란주에 동바도 니츠 동바래.
And so, talking about the holding as supreme, some made up, the partial emptiness. So, like a full emptiness and partial emptiness, right? So, emptiness, so even emptiness is a partial emptiness. So, according to the Prasangika Madhyamika's view, the emptiness explained by the mind-only school or even by Savatantaka Madhyamika school would be just a partial emptiness. So, if we have time, we could have, could go through more extensive explanation here, but we don't have much time to go through all that.
단단히 공당 치치 열에 당구 어디 편보 열에 두 등산 난세 덴버션스 등산 나란 속에 촌난들 간대져서 대가란 두 섬지 나는 깔이야 대가란 nangi yoris, you think the yobata nangris. Now Nashi Lui Shambekalia, you think the yobata shingris, to things are nonsense demolitions. That codones, or Susu Lobjon, Tombani Tower, Lobjon Cheni, and in Yamachilia, Kanati, and now that the mea somebody, codone, Kanaton but Susu Uzu Java Maimba. Combetogi, that Kana Tea, and you think the mea, Tea, you think the now and she mea somebody, Kanaton Washaji Ingris. Two things are nonsense demolition, codone, Kanaton Washer. Two Tezeta Jabazos. So that Tindechigi, Mangi Yongsuna, and the Tavechava over das. Then the Jerumuchi, Tezeta Jabazova last said, the Tavechava Zodan the Tires. But Ludu Yavse Gombanias, Gomuludu, the Yavse Gombania, to do never das. It's the Dom Chamudua.
And also again, from Kuntang, it's also mentioned about nowadays, and at this time of the day, people grasping at the things, as they appear, to them. So how they appear to them, existing from their own side, existing from the side of the object itself. Yeah, so that's how it appears, and they also grasp or apprehend as existing in that way. But then through the study, when one comes to understand that things do not exist in the way it appears to us, there are things are empty of existing in a way they appear to us. Then at that time, then one has understood, the real, the view, the real view, according to the view explained by the Nagarjuna and his spiritual sons.
That duzo tandeg parjin tool java duzo sanjo molan chena molan jazora do zoji sanje jazora do chuji kawa jazumi ju chebrigi sen jazo mangbuji yobas what that duzo tandatin duzorvas.
And so similar to this here, in the King of Prayers, and also there are many mention about the ocean, ocean of the Buddha and so forth. So this is very similar to that.
Oh, the cow gentleman gets Jazos Mambuchi, Jaso Karinas, the Jaso Sheba, the Mambit Robas, what the Karis, the Parjin to Yamlan Jani, and the Salam Satambe and the Nibe and the Sume Saji and then Jani and Rogoya Tervas.
And so there, mention about ocean. Ocean means like a lot, plenty. A lot, many. And so ocean of eons and the ocean of Buddha and so forth. So that you apply to the practice of the 6 perfections, like the perfection of generosity in the first ground, perfection of morality in the second ground, and so forth.
Oh, Tati Rangu Minje, Partin to Yamlana Yamamba, the Tisane, that Shendu Duve Tablia, Mensu, any Shajung, Shendakashi Yungudua, that Telia, Kardus, Namda Lava, Teme Sengit, Tambe Mere, Lela Jimmy, Chinjar Gijun, Shazu Jananja, that Gemetum Java shows. That makes it just came into Kurandina Yotarandre.
And so now, having prayed, for oneself, now, for praying for the, for the sake of others, then comes in the next verse, those with the broken precepts, though looking like monks, who have lost pure morality through inconsideration and are fearless of actions despised by the holy, may I yoke them to the faultless ethical discipline.
That Yanda Lamdur, Logwe Lamneshu, Migation, Digdo Wandusum, Kain Tea, Dagi Deladu, Javanadu Lam shows, but Lam Nabal shoot the Tuzoya and in Lam Sambul Shitui shows.
So there's no much explanation to give, it's just like what is mentioned here in the text, right? And then the next verse is whoever has left the excellent way to engage in mistaken, distorted paths, influenced by negative friends or non-virtuous guides, may I easily set on paths praised by the conquerors.
Dagi Cheju Zumba Singi De, Lame Wazopa Torchede, Kangi Nuitaki Jesundi, Menu Tembe Jansen Zimmer shows.
And then having robed folks like mistaken teachers of their boldness, with my lion's roar of teaching, debate, and composition, then caring for them by whatever means will subdue them, may I uphold the victory banner of the undeclined teachings.
That Tuzo Sanjo Mono Jan Shavina, top Mambuchare, 군도 뉴베 준주 동남다 군의 고이 티베트 군도 연den제베 군도 차바 참바 타게 군의 개외성난 또다 차바 매브리키게 이시도 시아랍 탑다 띵진 또다 정주 동나 양다 주베체 레기 동나 용수 타제지 뇨몬 동나 군도 점버체스 어 투제 탄다 단데디 숭고예베 소르지도 왔어.
And so when you refer to this, to the king of Persia, then they had also mentioned about power, so many times, like the power, the power of this, power of that, and it's like the power of the delusions, to be eliminated, power of the karma, and so forth. So, this is referring to the same way like that. Yeah.
So, 이 람기 인den기 누베 톱지기 아니 신다티기들 람 로바다지 티기들 상마파 매버서야지 어떤데 숨도 왔어.
And so through the power of your understanding of the proper path, then eliminate those others, those who enter into the wrong or faulty paths.
다테네 교환에 철학 탐제도 연된 genden지 용해야지. 다음에 강도 깨네 투바이 숭기두주 통화 대체스 리수 조와 리푸순 조바 수푸순 조바 조와 푸순 조바 원주 푸순 조바 셰라 푸순 조바 처린와 내배와 대와다 대바 어디 계주겐데레.
And so to have all these good qualities in oneself, then pray in this way: wherever I am born, and may I drink the ambrosia of Buddha's speech, and at that time having good family, good form, good wealth, power, wisdom, and free from illness, a long and happy life.
다 다금이도 소도는 줄 균드체에 삼바다나지 달미게 줘봤다 다는 라버 마신 참규지스.
And then so to those who always bear harmful intention towards my body, life, or possession, and also to those who speak unpleasant to me, may I especially be as loving as a mother.
다기 대다른 걸 믿어봐 다베 신적 건배 천주스 사상 다바 율리께서는 라메 천주 건배 따라쇼스.
And then may I, before too long, having developed bodhicitta, which cherishes others more than self, and take up the burden of freeing all beings, and grant them the unexcelled state of enlightenment.
That is all. Any time the Bengo Pabaludu Umarin Jentuanalia, Sumba Nashinjigi, Sata Chuda, Metata, Manda Gombe Shinshindu, Semjen Padu Mebai, Rangardame, Jejersho. Semjen namla so shiba dala teda cheban sho semjen shinda do bet za chishidi and so dress malaya ze ke chishidi semjen teda ini so le ya semjen teda ke cheji tindi ji yon shu semjen namla so shiba dala teda cheban sho dala teda dimi dage malu temis nge gewa chebati chama semjen chamalaya and yon sho semjen chame dungenda kanyan kan yobde nye gala mimbe shose otige tigu gombata tumbachene sungudu was.
And so this is very similar to the where you talk about the praying for sentient beings. That's the most important thing for the sentient being is their life. And then so for me, the other sentient beings are more important than my life. So then, giving one's own the result of one's virtues. So may all sentient beings experience the result of my virtues, and may I be able to take upon the suffering of all sentient beings like that.
That ne tindeg molam ti any that turn yosun to but judu. The molam get turn yosun to Mombate, molam de Dakan, the tongue the Yila temperature, but Tadaja, Jasenam, Molam Labuja, Maludula Shimba Mabrisho, Hassan Tabe, Topi Lidu, Yajan Molam Tabadi, Molam Parochimbayun, Luchin Kunjira Okon shows, what the Jugi, Molam tea, turn Juba Mombateres.
And then, so whatever prayers that you made in prior to this, to accomplish all those prayers, then you do, and there's this, the two verses of prayers here. It says, whoever sees or hears these prayers, or thinks of them, may they as well be undiscouraged in accomplishing all the Bodhisattva's great and powerful prayers, and through through force of offering this vast prayer made, with the power of a pure extraordinary wish, fully completing the perfection of prayer, may I fulfill hopes of all embodied beings.
Tako show merging tena molam sa jig tanya imbaje ngo molam sa tanya imbaje show merging tena susu misichi gi ani ta nyingbulan kare imbati ani ngojo number of tuas.
So in one hand, it's just a prayer, right? So it's just kind of just a prayer. But on the other hand, it also kind of introduces one how to make one's life meaningful.
Natural 좀 지당 칸데 제국이 여봐. 삼노 담배 qabla 리버 당당 칸데 제국이 여봐. 아니 무슨 라랭 냠랭 칸데 제국이 여봐. 어떻게 참아 숨도 왔어.
So how do we practice Buddhism, the Buddha's teachings, and how do we apply the reasonings, and how do we put into practice of all these teachings and so forth. So it's all explained here, right?
제 토마당 바르다 타마게 모놈디는 마음도 되봐. 약간 로산 잡에 빠기. shortu pelgin jung to the Java was that the Tondamag Lumsta Pubres.
And then it says here in the colophon, this prayer for the virtue in the beginning, middle, and end was composed at the glorious Dikung Til monastery in Shoto by the wonder Lobsang Takpa, who has heard many teachings. So with this, we should say he has offered you the simple kind of teaching or transmission of this text.
Tande yunde gendendi sanju nal kande sumudusna yishe tan sudan sanamda rigdan khadon namja dembargyu dudan meeting mambu temedu jiden sumbokona ya chöbergurus ottezugi tagi risu jodo onju shero da tselinene dedan dembasa di sama tondadi sanju molumnane chu da shebji redwas.
And so these are the 8 the qualities we mentioned about earlier, and having good family, form, wealth, power, wisdom, free from illness, and long life. So that's also mentioned. Prayed in the King of Prayers as well. So it's all related with that, coming from there.
And nareg chonaro dala thondamadi sanju molomgi ta thonda jabaji re samajigi chowa yungudus.
So to me, I feel like this prayer, the prayer for the virtue in the beginning, in the middle, and beginning, middle, and end, it kind of, I feel like it is a commentary, to the King of Prayers.
That's how sauce.
So with that we have completed it.
That is it. Don't do it. How do we do it? Did it? Come on, you hashas. Do you want the windows?
So we have 2 more minutes left. Any questions? 2 minutes. Any question for 2 minutes?
In page 9 to Tibetan Buddhism, that 3 days.
So we'll stop here for today, and if you have any question, we can have again tomorrow or the day after tomorrow.
Chidan Sanju Molam Dan to Molam Korea and Tane Kanda Yusang Tony Sungudua, Ticheni, and Tetes Molam Jaya that was 100,000 Namini Awares.
And so, so this kind of prayers and dedications, mentioned in here, the virtue in the middle, and the beginning, in the middle, and beginning, middle, and end, and also in the King of Prayers. So these prayers, just like it's mentioned there, if you can also pray in the same way, or just by reciting these prayers, will be beneficial for yourself.
The Pebe Komshigi Chone Cheje, Tahasi Shubina, Penanganze. Chi managing Sumachin Demical, then Nazas Taro Chena, Nazati Yos Taro Chena, mending Susu Subul, Yos Pero Chena, Samaro, Tinichi Tendayachi, Yan Sisum Ruji Savina, that's real Romeo and Samara Kayachi, or any other man out of Chisi to Savina, Parchetes Domio and Samarachi, the Tondan Riado to the Yos Rujimio and Samaraji, or Tosti Yunguduas, Taco Tinichi, Ceremony Pengris. Then as a family travel like fingers, and 지 돈단 주야나 바제세야라 땡땡 팽그레스 레디 코다 그거 체슈코 마르바스 대 인상 가장 쉬운 것이 세디 온도 제가 개와도 대권하신데 치우사디 디강 루도스 딘데지 갑들이야 아니 수수르디 양요 쩌제 아다 산노 춘주 딘데지 땅요 매 아스마르지 아니 타기 뭐뭐는 통다마 디나리아 야체무지 순샤부터 진행가데 술렌제 아니 남산 수수 우주 잡제 로 야체무지 강이야 봐 타예베 마겐 심제 탐제 타예로 와실레 다제치사디 딘데지 삼네 토리아 노트가 충분히나 아니 지점기 닝도체와 뒤쪽이 야체와 뒤쪽이 아니 계획 지구대야 야체와 용야 어떤 데도 왔어.
So talking from the from the Tibetan, Tibetans in a point of view, when we do some prayers, when we do recite some mantras or do some prayers, we always think about and I have no sicknesses. So or if I'm taking medicine, may this medicine be more effective, to cure my disease and so forth. And always have this kind of more and hopes, when you do the prayers, to thinking about this life, right? So reciting, any mantras. So it's like reciting Tara mantra. So maybe you, even while reciting that, we have this hope, in the back of our mind, so that there will be no obstacles, and all our wishes will come true and so forth. So these are, like I mentioned before, these are all for this life, right? So we should not just live for have this very small mind, only think about this life, and instead we should, just like it is mentioned in these prayers and the King of Prayers, should think about others and think about the future lives and so forth. So the thing about having more extensive results from these prayers.
근데 상황지주 지지하래 직된 바로 되냐면 직된 디 지비게스 어다 라메 조베 창주 콤바토야 셴된도 라메 조베 창주 콤바토야 근데 그 삼노지 직된 바로 근데 지금 삼노지 땅바이나 쇼기 세디기 엔지 또그 땅지 더 근데지 동에서야 더 디기 주세야기 상분 지부 쇼를 연구해서 제제 어떤 승여래.
And so it is said that if you think about the future, or about the enlightenment, and then all this all the wishes for this life will come by itself. So if you think about gaining enlightenment for the benefit, also all these small things, to have a good life, long life, and so forth in this life will come by product. So you don't have to strive for that, but and if you think about the big ones, you'll get the small ones by itself.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
That ended. Oh, Surona.
Mother of us. Neya Daya Ne. So,
Final number and fair.
Yes,
Page 39. From my two collections, vast is space that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths to the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by a strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned it. May I hold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread and declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time, by even this graded course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous act practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. Ganri Rawe Gowe Jinkan Liu Penra Dewa Magu Juene Chenre Zingwa Tenzin Yatsoi Gangu Site Bangu Tenryushi Tong So Changjin Jambun Yahweh Tenzin Kongperwe Konzo Do Boise Chosun Goe Lemon Tudru Padam Sordo Jegan Gyu Jante Page 57. Through this virtue